Have you ever gone to the dyno and you get a graph like this and you wonder what to do with it? We can use a lookup table and bring it into Race Studio 3 and see how much horsepower or torque you're using at any point on the track. Follow along, I'll show you how to do it. Information from the lookup tables is available all over Race Studio 3. It's very powerful and it's a great way to take complex things like calculating horsepower and getting them into the data without doing all those calculations. If we have a table that shows things, we can build it in Race Studio 3 as we see here, and then display the data. To get started with the lookup table, we create a math channel. We do that by clicking the math channel icon, and then in the top right, we have lookup tables. When we open that, we get the option to create a new one, and then we can work 2D or 3D. A 2D has one input. In our case, it's going to be RPM. A 3D table has two inputs, so it would be a combination of engine RPM and throttle position. This is something that some dynos can give you, or it'd be something you could use in other math channels if it was something you wanted. When we build our table, we're going to have our input channels engine RPM, and our output function is going to be power and RPM and horsepower. I have 19 rows of data, and you can see it all here. A nice feature is you can cut and paste this information from a spreadsheet, so it makes filling it out really quick. You can also rotate your data plot, and you have the ability to interpolate your data. So instead of having steps where it's discrete values, you can have it interpolated where it fills in the middle for you. We say, okay, I created one for my torque as well, and you can see it, same exact process here, but we're outputting torque in foot-pounds. And then we get into the math channels. Do you like content like this? If you do, please subscribe and follow along. So we're going to click our plus button, type in what math channel we're making. Here we're going to just call it torque. Go at, say, 20 hertz in my cars group, and then we're going to start with our operators. The first one's going to be if, and then I like to use the verify formula button. What this does is it lets me have Race Studio 3 pick the areas that I have to change things instead of me having to go through and delete out just the right portion or insert the right portion. I find it makes my math channels go a lot quicker. So the first thing we're going to do is click verify. Our condition is going to be greater than, verify formula, and then what channel is greater than. We're going to pick throttle. So I use my search bar, go for throttle position, go back. If my formula is greater than, my throttle position is greater than 90%. If it's true, what do I want to do? I want to use my lookup table. And when we get to the second part of our lookup table, we're going to enter RPM here, because that's what it's going to give us, Chiquita's torque, and we need to put in engine RPM. So if we go in, we put engine speed, our last one here. If it's neither of those, we're going to display a 0. Finally, our bottom parts, the function is going to output torque in foot-pounds, and we don't need any decimals. We can say, okay, recompute our values, and one final thing. And this gets people all the time, and it's a really easy mistake to make. We need to go in and activate this channel for our logger. So next to our torque channel, we can enable it for every session from this one, because it's nice to always have that data, so we can turn it on, and then we can go and exit. In our data files, we can pull up this torque channel, display it, and see the amount of torque that we have at any point on the track. We could overlay this in so many ways. One of them, we can display it on the map. So we can choose our color method and go per channel and use torque. Make our lines bigger. To see this information on the map with the location on the track, it creates a very powerful statement to see how this all goes together.